Hello, Kieran. It's so nice to meet you. How are
Nice to
you?
meet you. I'm quite well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited. We're so
Good.
close to Halloween. It just,
Good. Yes, it's so
you know,
exciting. It's so close. Do you have plans?
I was gonna ask you. I am on a scramble right now to try to find like
You're
any kind of
scrambling.
outfit. Yeah, I have no costume ideas. It's been a weird year. Usually you do a
Yeah.
trend or something, but it's been kind of tough. What about you?
Well, I'm working on the day of Halloween,
Mhm.
which is look, and I will take a challenge and I will use it to my advantage, which and I will adjust, which means this year my costume has to be something chill
Mhm.
and something that I can show up to work in and leave work in and feel like maybe if someone didn't know the reference, they would just think that's what I was wearing. And I
Okay.
still don't know what I want to do, but it's going to be, I'm going for nuanced, subtle this year, just given the circumstances in which I'm in. But I really would want to go all out. I just feel like group costumes are so much more fun. Like,
100%.
like I've really been thinking about this lately. I think with the pandemic and people kind of being not able to see each other as much, like all I want to do is see my friends and be with my friends and do things with my friends, and a group costume. I've always wanted to do the Spice Girls. I will at one point in my life. I think that would just be the most fun. Like, just get a group.
Which
Do
spice
it.
would you be?
I would love to be sporty. I
You got to.
feel I feel like I must wear the Adidas pants and have the high pony.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Absolutely. And you're right. You want to go all out. You never want to be a person who just kind of mails it in on Halloween. People can tell when there's no effort into it. So, and the group
Yeah.
ones are always best.
Yeah. But you don't know yet? You don't know who you're gonna be?
No, I'm on Pinterest boards scrolling like crazy, trying to find some
Right.
inspiration. Squid Game's huge. Everyone loves that. But
Yeah, Squid
I don't
Game
know.
in time.
We'll see. But you got
But
a
so many
fun,
people are gonna do that. I feel like you want to do something that's like no one would expect.
yeah. I'll
Right?
tell you what, the number one prospect right now is I have this friend who looks like Britney Spears, and we're going to do the JT and Britney denim thing,
That's
you know? It's
do
always a
it.
classic.
It's got to happen at one point in everyone's life. They have to do that
I've
costume.
never done it. You're right. So,
Yeah.
well, you got a fun Halloween coming up. You got a really cool project you've been working on called
Yes.
Treat, which is the
Yes.
first podcast movie from the newly created C13 Features podcast movie studio. It's the first feature length project from C13 Features. I'm so curious about this. I think it's such a fun project. And how was it like working on it?
It was amazing. It was so fun. I was sent the script and I read it like a script, as one actor does. I sort of in my brain didn't even really think of it as an audio experience until I reread it and said, wow, like that actually is so conducive to just sound and nothing visual, because it makes it 10 times more terrifying. And I just think that I'm very passionate about storytelling, and every new medium that's coming out and being created to get stories into the homes or the cars or the whatevers of other people is so cool and so exciting. And obviously I love horror and I love spooky things, and I did Sabrina for a long time. Like, I'm no stranger to Halloween and scary and all that kind of stuff. I thought how cool to do an audio experience that's technically a podcast, but for all intents and purposes is a narrative film in many
Mhm.
ways. It's just audio. Never seen anything like it. And I thought it was so original. And I fell in love with not only the story, but sort of the concept of how it was going to be laid out and told. So it was really just sort of everything about it was appealing to me. And I had so much fun doing it. And I think people
Yeah.
are gonna love it.
You're so right about that. With it's such an interesting medium to use audio because it takes people to a different place. Like instead of a movie where it just it'll play it out for you 100%. You're giving
Yeah.
the listener the chance to like play it out in their head, and they can make it as gory or as dramatic as they want. But
Yeah.
it's really a cool thing to be a part of. And you talk about you fell in love with the story. What is like the Spark Note story? Not too much, so people have to listen to it, but
Of
the gist
course,
of how
yeah.
it
I
goes.
think basically it follows our protagonist named Allie West, who's a teenager that is growing up in a very idyllic town, a crisp fall, foliage everywhere, quiet, nothing goes wrong in this town, which is obviously the type of town that has a deeply dark underbelly. And we learn about that. We learn about sort of its haunted past and this haunting figure named the Piper, who makes a grand return to the town and tries to pretty much flip everything on its head. And basically, without spoiling too much, the fate of the town is sort of left in Allie's hands. And beyond making just decisions about her grounded life, the life that she knew before this sort of whole thing happens, she's left with much bigger issues. So we kind of follow this girl growing up and figuring out her life, her family situation, herself, and also having to simultaneously save a town and deal with being in life-threatening situations. So we kind of see this person come of age in two ways over the course of, just like 24 hours. It's a really wild sort of experience, I think, for listeners and also for this character.
Mm-hmm. Wow, what a tease. I can't wait. To see it. And the first thing I think about too, when you do a project like this, is it harder, or like, how is the process of doing all audio and just like literally voiceovering a type of movie through podcasting?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I definitely thought a lot about that because I love conveying things with my face. I love, letting my expressiveness contribute to the performance. So when that's taken away, basically for me, I felt like I had to do my due diligence to like really, really dig deep into the emotions so that I could feel it throughout my whole body and it would read in my voice. There's no cheating. There's no sort of, oh no, I swear I'm crying. You just can't hear it.
Yeah, you got to sell it.
You have to
tell it. You got to feel it.
And you're working in a booth. You're not in wardrobe. You're not seeing scary things happening. You're in a cozy sweater. Like you're not freezing, but your character is. And I think that it posed so many interesting challenges, but at the end of the day, it forced me to be really imaginative. And that is a great thing. And it was very interesting and very fun. And I felt like I sort of, did away with the world when I went into the booth. I just sort of like, everything disappeared. You gotta just be this and be in it in your head in a way that is not allotted to you when you're acting with things and around things. So it was its own experience and it was really fun that way.
It creates this whole kind of magic, and I can't wait to hear how it all unfolds. You can actually download it now, Treat, on the Audacy app or wherever you listen to podcasts. And it's going to be on Halloween night on all of our radio stations too. So how cool is that?
Oh my God. So spooky.
It's going to be real spooky. People are going to be driving around like, what is happening? But I can't wait to listen in. And
drive with caution whilst listening to this podcast.
Don't operate heavy machinery while listening to Treat.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Kiernan, I'm so glad you're a part of this. It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Congrats on everything. We're so happy to have you a part of this this featured podcast film. It's so cool. So
I'm happy to be here.
All right. Well, nice to meet you. Thanks again for the time. And everyone check out the podcast. Treat's out now.